Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Living Astrology with Janet Hickox. Grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back, and let's chat about what is going on in the stars above. We are at the weekend, and I have a feeling it's going to be a wild ride. If any of you ever been to Disneyland and gone to the Alice in Wonderland area and you get on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I kind of feel like that is what we're looking at for the coming weekend. So how do we get through it? What do we do? What can we expect? We have a lot to dive into this morning to be able to talk about that. It looks like I'm frozen in time here. Not sure. Maybe it's just the lag in the broadcast, but anyway, I'm assuming that everybody is here live with me, and we're going to chat today about several things. First of all, we have the weekend, which means we have a little bit longer broadcast that contains a lot of information. So we're going to talk about the moon for the entire weekend. We're going to talk about Mars in a conjunction to Jupiter today, and then on Sunday, his conjunction to Pluto, which gives the weekend, just those two little things, Mars and Jupiter and Mars and Pluto, give this weekend that wild ride sort of feel. We have Saturn moving into Aquarius tomorrow, Saturday, and then on Sunday, we have a whole host of of other connections between Mercury and Venus, Mercury sextiling Uranus and Venus sextiling Neptune. And while the moon is in Pisces, also getting ready to conjunct Neptune. So we have what I'd say is an interesting time ahead, but as the Chinese proverb goes, may you live in interesting times, and we definitely do. I'm wondering how people were doing this weekend, yesterday, checking out news stories or things that you noted in your world that have changed or that are in the process of changing, that are being adopted into, the new energies that are on the planet. So I'll be excited to hear if anybody noticed anything like that. I see people checking in now. Good morning, Deb Johnson, Michelle Gay, Angela Mather-Keel, Debbie Hedden. It's great to see everybody. She says it's so busy on her end, but nice to pop on today. It is nice. And I know you have young children, and that makes your life super busy. I get you. So, all right, let's dive in now that I think we have a few people out there ready to listen. Today we have the moon in Aquarius. The moon will literally be in Aquarius all day, but it is in a void. The void began at 2 a.m. My time, West Coast time, and then lasts all the way through 5:34 a.m. tomorrow morning. So literally, while we have, some interesting energies with the moon today, they're all in the void. We have some interesting potential for energy expression, especially with Mars conjunct Jupiter. But are those actions that we take going to do anything or go anywhere, gain any traction? That's hard to tell because the moon, of course, which usually drives the ability for us to take action, is in the long void. And that long void again lasting until tomorrow morning. So West Coast time, 5:34, East Coast, 8:34 a.m. and from 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. this morning. So all day today feels like we're spinning our wheels, right? We're not gaining traction. We're not really going anywhere. Now, today, the moon in Aquarius comes into a square, a challenge to the planet Venus. Venus is in Taurus, and Taurus is a fixed sign, as is Aquarius, right? So we have fixed sign energy. And just as a reminder, fixed sign energy tends to be energy that gets stuck. It gets in a rut. It also, though, has staying power and longevity. It's stable energy. It's loyal energy. So we have, it's not that fixed signs are, or fixed energy is not good energy. Without it, we'd be, all over the place, starting new things, but never finishing, right? The fixed signs tend to start something and finish something. But when we have a square between planets, this case, the moon and Venus, in a fixed sign or in fixed signs, what we have is a tendency for us to stay stubbornly locked in place and not move forward. So what I thought today would be a good day for us all, and you can't see what I wrote here, but it says E Value, all in caps, 8, evaluate today, right? Today's a day to evaluate everything in your life. Are you lined up with what you value? Are you putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, or walking your talk? So where are we neglecting to yield to the pressure or the power that's pushing us in a specific direction? Or where are you ignoring the signs, the synchronicities, the coinkydinks that are telling you where to move, what to do, how to be, and you're yet stuck in a way of being or of acting that is of an old paradigm, and it's in much need of being shifted. Where are we stuck? This is collectively as well as personally, by the way. So it's not just you as an individual, but you as an individual as part of a collective. Where are we stuck in our old ways, in old habits, in an old paradigm that needs to be shook up? Right? That needs to be changed. So even though the moon is really only making one, and it's already done this, by the way, because we're in the void. So we're stuck, sort of, if you will. We're stuck with the moon in a square to Venus until tomorrow morning. At least the moon won't make any new connections until then. So we have a while to be able to consider this in our lives. And I think if you look out into the world right now with crazy coronavirus, we get a glimpse of where it is that we've been stuck, right? Where it is that we are, in that psychotic space of trying to, keep doing things the way that we've always done them, with no regard for the effect that it's having on the planet or on communities or on other countries, or, even in our own lives. So we have this longer period of time right now where we can evaluate that, where we can see how is that, lining up in our lives? How is that going to affect us over the long course? So, take some time today for self-evaluation, right? Looking at where are you stuck personally? Where do you keep doing things the same way over and over again? Where are you that stuck record? I know some of you who are younger may not remember this, but when I was a kid, it was in the days just before records yielded to cassette tapes or V8 tapes. What were they called? They were big V8, not V8, that's an engine. I forgot what they were called. But at any rate, where records were yielding to tapes, and the records used to get stuck, right? If you got a scratch on the record, it could get caught in a groove, and it would keep repeating the same thing over and over again until you either went up and touched it a little bit or, stomped on the floor and it would go to the next groove. So that's kind of the thing that we are at right now. We're kind of stuck in the old, not yet pushed into the new, and in our own lives that could be reflected in our jobs, in our relationships, and wherever it is that you have Aquarius and Taurus in your charts is where you are likely going to get stuck. So for just a moment here, I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I've got this up. Let me check my screen here. There we go. I'm going to share the screen with you so that you can see what those two signs look like. So you can kind of find the house in your chart perhaps. So this is a great time to get your personal astrology chart out. And here is what we're looking at. So here's the sign Aquarius. It looks like the wavy lines, right? Two wavy lines. And as you see in this chart, which is the chart of the moment. So this chart was from 7:10 this morning. I had to redo the chart after I had to restart my computer, which is really ridiculous. Every day now I have to do this. But the chart was just from about an hour ago. And you can see how Aquarius begins here halfway through the 11th house and then crosses over into the 12th house. So in your own personal chart, it may be doing that same thing. It may be affecting two areas of your life. If this were a person, this would be Aquarius affecting the 11th house of dreams and hopes and wishes, friendships and groups, as well as the unconscious mind, where fears and limitations or self-sabotaging behavior could become an issue. So this is Aquarius. Wherever it is in your chart, that house and the matters of that house might be where you are stuck. So if this were a person, this person may be stuck, not able to move out of the goal phase or the dream or vision phase of what it is they want to do, because maybe there is a fear that's blocking them. Maybe they're afraid they don't know enough or they don't have enough information, whatever it is. this person, if this were a person, would need to apply some pressure to go ahead and let go of that fear and just to push forward. Now, Taurus, here is Taurus. It looks like, just like you might think, a bull, right? The head with the horns. And also in this chart, Taurus is a fixed sign. And you can see here's where Venus is in Taurus. We also have Uranus in Taurus. And we have Sedna in Taurus, and we have the part of fortune. This little circle with the crosshatch in it is the part of fortune. So we have plenty going on in the sign of Taurus that can also be the source of some stuck energy, particularly because what we're saying here is that the moon is in a square to Venus. So the square is that challenging energy. You see it here with this red line that goes down to Venus. And that is across this person's if this were a person, their first house and their second house. So it may be a battle that's going on about them in their own personality and wanting to bring out expressions of the new, but maybe being stuck here in the second house with self-worth issues. So this is how we read an astrology chart, right? We're looking to see what are the matters of the house, where's the sign, and how do those planets play out. And then in your own chart, if you have planets here already by birth, then you also have maybe some other issues that are holding you back or stopping you from moving forward. So I hope that is helpful for everybody to be able to see a chart, to be able to connect that to what is going on in your own chart. I'm going to take a quick peek back here at, I don't want that one, over here and see how people are doing. Debbie Tibbetts, Me Too card today. I don't know if I'm going to have time for cards, Debbie, but I will put you down, Deb, just in case I do get there. Good morning, Monique Alexander. She's going Me Too. Okay, you guys. And Linda could also use a card today. Oh my God. And Tom, how are you this morning? He's up early and he scratched the record. And then how many times did we scratch the records, Tom, by jumping on the floor to make the needle move forward? And then that further scratched the record. I did that so many times. Monique, wait, no card meant keep losing broadcast. Oh no, I don't know why that would be happening. My husband said that the other day too. He was homesick and he was trying to watch it and it kept lagging. I don't know. I'm noticing this with Facebook quite frequently lately. It may force me into doing a different sort of, I'm actually thinking of switching over to YouTube Live. I will give you plenty of notice before I do something like that though, but I am getting quite irritated with Facebook of late. But it's also possible that wherever you live, that because more people are home because of the coronavirus or more kids at home, there are more people online, and that is putting pressure, maybe more people streaming Netflix. And that takes, of course, away from the bandwidth that is allowed as well. So it could be a couple of different issues going on. Much of it totally out of my control. Okay, so now let's move on to what the Mars conjunct Jupiter, what that conjunction might mean for everybody. So now you want to look at where Capricorn is in your chart. You should be very familiar with this right now because we have looked at this Capricorn part of your chart very frequently over the last several months. And this is where Mars and Jupiter both are coming into this conjunction. And here's where I think a lot of the frustration, irritation, angst, anxiety, anger may be erupting over the weekend, not necessarily with you because now you guys are knowing that this is going on, but I think with some other people out there, it may be a possibility that this is erupting because this is high energy. Mars is the principle of action, and he is aggressive or assertive. In the positive, it's assertion. In the more negative aspect, it's aggression. And he is raring to go to get things done. When he meets up with Jupiter, it expands that energy, right? It makes it bigger because that's the effect of Jupiter. That's why Jupiter in this pandemic has expanded our pandemic from the epidemic into a pandemic, as Jupiter has been involved here as well. And we also have this long void of course moon that is also dampening our ability to move forward. So between the long void of course between the coronavirus cutting us back to being at home, or not allowing us to get, social distancing and all of that, that causes us likely to feel that frustration about not being able to go where we want to go or do what we want to do. I was thinking about this morning going, God, I need to get my hair cut. And now there's no way I can go and do that, likely for several weeks. We shall see what happens here, right? Then, you're raring to go finally to take action, to finally, drop the hammer on something. And there's a block, right? Because we can't do it. There's not the energy for that, but we are still feeling like we want to do that. So we need to watch out for a few things here. With this energy, it's very important that we don't overdo or exaggerate the things that we feel like we can do, right? It's that, what do I say? Don't run a marathon if you've only ever run a mile or so, right? You don't want to go, well, I can do it, and then just go out there and then you find out how that hurts your muscles and things like that. Don't overestimate your abilities in your excitement to be able to move forward, or in your high energy. Don't do things that you cannot do, right? Just don't do it. We might be feeling confident and optimistic. That I know I was feeling a little bit like that energy was moving in today as well, feeling, like maybe, hopefully, the reason we haven't been on a complete shutdown here yet is that maybe things are getting better. And then you look at the numbers and you go, not so, right? So we're getting tugged back and forth between optimism and confidence in the future, and then news or a reality that bites. So we may be feeling alternating currents here over the weekend, especially between high and low. So it's not a problem, right? That's just who we are at this moment. That's just what our world is bringing us to at this moment. So we just got to go with it. So it's not that you're suddenly depressed or anxious or need medication. It's just that the world is a little bit crazy. So do what you can do. Maybe do some meditation, or do some walking, or do some gardening within reason, and do what you can do to self-soothe, and to maybe reach out to a friend via, we have Zoom, we have Skype, we have FaceTime. Reach out and get face to face with someone in a safe way. So depending on how you use this energy and how you take this energy in is going to be how it is that you respond to the energy. So if you're feeling like housebound or caught up and can't go anywhere, can't do anything, then it might be a little more difficult for you than it might be for other people who are already, home, or, comfortable in, being a little more quiet and reserved right now. So this is decisive energy too, right? This is very strong, confident energy. It can be enthusiastic. So find something that you can do within reason to be enthusiastic and optimistic about, as Mars aligns with Jupiter here. Now, interestingly enough, today's Pleiadian-Earth energy is 11 transcending. And in the Mayan calendar, transcending was Kimi energy, C-I-M-I, and it was the energy that was represented by the skull or by a vulture. It represents death and decay, and the need to be able to transform from one state to another. And here we have the energy then of transcending and illumination, shining the light, the very strong spotlight on where it is that we need to make some changes, where death and decay can no longer be tolerated, right? Where we must transform that energy into something else, something more alive, something more forward thinking, something more forward moving. So the Pleiadian Earth energy today is of an enlightening sort. It may be dawning on people now that this, the world has changed, right? And I don't know if this is change forever or just change in the short term, but the world has changed, and that the economy has changed. People's lives have changed, and that may be dawning on everybody today. So partly there may be a sort of feeling of sadness or grief over what has been lost, or what has changed, because you know how we are, like we like to stay the same. We're creatures of habit. And this energy today is really about looking at the forward, right? Looking forward, looking ahead. And even though you can't take action now, there's no reason to get into more anxiety or more fear. Just be able to move through this as gracefully as possible. Okay, I'm going to go back, see if there are questions right now. Rebecca, good morning. She says, yes, I'm loving the energy right now. Mimi says, only a guess, perhaps the skipping is real. Yes, let's skip. Okay. We're having a small service for my grandson tomorrow. My heart is breaking. I know, Linda, and our hearts are with you in this. This is, it's a hard time for people because even people who are losing loved ones now to the coronavirus aren't able to really do a proper funeral and so forth. And of course, all of that is, bringing up more stress. By the way, Deb Johnson and other people who may be having issues, here's what I do when I start to have that kind of an issue is I clear my cache and my cookies in my browser. So hopefully you're using Google Chrome. Oh, I see the video's been paused. Yeah, there's an issue going on here. I see it. Well, okay. I don't know what to do about that. I really can't help you with that. I don't know if it's from my end. It could be. I don't know. I have no idea. But I see that it's pausing and starting and stopping, and I don't like that, but what can I do? Okay, Saturday's energy. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday's energy, we have the void of course, moon breaking the void at 5:34 a.m. Pacific time, 8:34 a.m. East Coast time, and then the moon will have moved into Pisces. And it will move into a conjunction with the planet Mercury and also a sextile to Uranus. And remember, Pisces energies are all about imagery and illusion. There's imagination and fantasy and dreaming that we might have more access to. Have your dream journals ready tomorrow morning. Perhaps you will have been given some kind of important information in your dreams. We may have that lost feeling, right? There's a bit of a wandering in the dark feeling sometimes with the moon in Pisces. Life can seem surreal. Surreality is a real possibility here. Every once in a while, I sit back and I'm thinking, wow, this is so surreal, right? That all of this is happening. And it feels very much to me, I know not every one of you is from the US, but here in the US, it seems to me like the day 9/11 happened. Surreal, right? The quiet, it's eerie quiet almost. And at other times you just, you go, wow, wait a minute. Okay, I've got the dishes to do. I've got laundry to do. I have a course to produce. And so you get back to the reality of it. And then the next minute it's again surreal. And I feel that anxiety rising within me at times. And we see some really good memes coming across things, social media, Facebook and Instagram, and that lifts you up for a moment. But then the next minute you're down again. So I get it, right? This is kind of a very surreal time that continues through this weekend, and it can trigger overwhelm for some of us, right? That overwhelming information cycle. Turn off the news, right? Turn off the news, get out your art supplies, get out your crayons, get out into the garden if you can, get out a good book, get, lost in a Netflix movie, do something that can support you without listening to the drone of all of the bad news that's out there right now, especially over this weekend. We are super sensitive. All of our senses are on fire, really, when we're talking about Pisces. Even though it's a water sign, it's just that you're tapped in. You are tuned in and turned on to all of this energy that is coming in. And it's usually coming in through the channel of intuition or knowingness. It is our loss of boundaries, right? That we're just being barraged with all of the physical senses as well as the unseen realm, right? The senses that pick up the angels or your spirit guides or the collective angst. And so right now we really have to apply compassion, especially over the weekend, compassion to self and to others who may be feeling, especially I'm thinking about children. They're also going to feel this. They don't really know or understand maybe what's happening right now, but they know if you're anxious. It's like your animals know when you're anxious and they behave accordingly. So have compassion for yourself and for your family members, and especially the children and the animals who really have no clue what's going on, but they can sense all of that unseen energy. This is a time this weekend with the moon moving into Pisces to get more spiritual, to get more into the mysticism, to claim your divine guidance, to enjoy the solitude, right? This is a time to go inward, to go deep into meditation, perhaps, or yoga, or just journaling, seeking answers, spiritual answers from within. There's a longing for us to connect, I think, with the divine, to feel like we are a part of something bigger, that there's got to be more than what's just happening here in the physical realm. Tap into your unseen helpers, right? Tap in, tune in, and turn on those senses, but don't let yourself go into that overwhelmed spot. Remember, too, Pisces energy is our victim energy. It's the sign where the victim and the martyr and the savior lives, and redeeming and redemption and all of those very Christian, i.e. Pisces energies are here for us. And that can lead us to feeling helpless and to anxiety. And that can trigger people who have addictions into furthering those addictions. So we have that possibly going on. So people who who are driven to drink or to over imbibe or overeat or any of those things may find themselves triggered this weekend. So be kind, be generous, be compassionate, and lend a hand wherever you can, and also afford yourself that that compassion and that tenderness, because you are also being barraged by all of this energy. Also on Saturday, of course, the long awaited or long foreseen move of Saturn into Aquarius. That occurs at 9:01 p.m. Is it 9 p.m. even, right up on the dial in the West Coast, and that means midnight. So it is bridging over the Saturday, Sunday time. Those of you in Europe will experience this on Sunday. And actually, technically, even the East Coast will be on Sunday, the 22nd, while those of us on the West Coast, 9 p.m. Saturday night, the planet Saturn will move into the sign of Aquarius, where he will stay until July 1st, because in April, end of April, he'll move into retrograde. So he's going to move backwards. He only advances to about the first degree, almost second degree of Aquarius, and then turns retrograde. So he will be moving backwards in July. July 1st, he will enter into Capricorn again, and will stay in Capricorn until December. And then the next time we hear about Saturn will be the giant Saturn conjunct Jupiter on the winter solstice at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is our foreshadow taste, right? This is our journaling time. We're really going to start looking now at what are we seeing? What changes do you note, right? From when Saturn was in Capricorn to when Saturn is in Aquarius. In a couple of weeks, or next week, late next week, beginning of the next, what day is today? So it'll be the 30th, the 29th and the 30th, Mars will join Saturn. So we have lots of things that, in the short term, these next couple of weeks, that we're going to be looking to get guidance, to get a heads up about what energies are aligning. This is why I wanted everybody to get their journals out and work with that, so that we have a way to be able to understand maybe some of the things that are going on. We're going to be prioritizing our lives differently. I think we're already doing that, right? That's already just begun, with lives being upended, with children out of school, and with, us being more insulated at home, isolated, feeling. So we're prioritizing our lives differently, and that will continue throughout the next couple of months. And we are in a process, I would say that this is leading us at some point to simplification. We're simplifying maybe our social connections to be aligned with those who hold true meaning for us. So no longer am I going to have to be just a part of every group that's out there because that seems like a good idea, but I want to be part of a community and part of a group that's building towards something that holds common interests with what I'm interested in. And we might have more interest over the next couple of months in contributing to humanitarian, to social justice, or to advocacy causes. Because now with Saturn in Aquarius, we're triggered more to reach out and help those around us that might need our who our gifts and our talents can help support out there in the world. We may experience technological breakthroughs. We may find that we're able to, or we want to, express our genius more appropriately. We all have genius. You're all geniuses. And we sometimes don't go and express our genius because we've gotten caught up in doing what we thought we had to do. But we will be able to maybe move forward a bit with that. This will be an interesting time as well, because the past and the future both occupy our mindset right now. And it's not to say that we haven't been looking for a future, but in Aquarius and Capricorn, we have time, right? Saturn represents time. He is the common denominator. Saturn, the planet, is the common denominator in Capricorn energy and Aquarian energy. And they both represent time. Capricorn, the past, and Aquarius, more the future. So here we're occupying that past and that future in the now, right? So what can we do with that energy? Where can we move it forward? And that will be a huge thing that we're looking at, I think, over the next couple of months. This is a time to put your ego up on the shelf. I think we're going to be much more willing to do that in favor of serving our communities or the collective as a whole. So that begins on Saturday and into Sunday. And let's take a look. I want to see if we're still on hold or if I'm still broadcasting. I'm looking a little bit choppy. Good morning, Marissa. She says she's helping her son with homeschool assignments. So much gratitude for his teacher, I'm sure. Angela says, I'm considering much about the home, family, quiet, and what I think is a collective shift of our values. I feel it too, right? I feel that where the real power has always lied is in our families, in our close-knit families, and even in our extended families, right? We got away from, if you look back to cultures, just even in the last century, families lived closer to one another, if not in the same houses, right? Think about the Waltons, right? Those were in the 1930s, I believe. That was right around the Depression times, and there was the sons and the daughters, and then the in-laws were there, and grandparents, etc. Right? We lived closer to that with one another. I have a feeling that's a change that's also going to come up. Linda Marie says, if Aquarius is in my 4th and 5th house in my birth chart, what does this mean for the transits coming up? It means that those transits, the sun, the planet Saturn and Mars, both, eventually Mars, are going to be moving through your 4th and 5th house. So the 4th house is about home and family. It is about the remodeling, perhaps, or having to deal with the structures of home and family. Maybe someone moving in or out of your home, maybe having to do some work on your home. But the 5th house is also about the joy of children, living that childlike enthusiasm. Saturn coming there may produce some initial down, feeling of not having enough fun or not having enough of that joyful expression. So it will be incumbent upon you, Linda Marie, to start to force yourself into finding joy, finding reasons to play, finding that expression of bliss and so forth. So not a bad thing at all for you. I don't see that as something negative, but something to watch for. What's going on in your home and family, and what's going on with your children, or what's going on with how you express joy in your life. Marissa, well, crap, the stream keeps interrupting. I'll have to watch later. Linda, not sure the specifics, but you're thinking of your family, sending you love and light. Good, good, good. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with the stream today. I really think it's just the number of people who are at home getting online. So I have no control, I'm afraid, over that one. All right, so I don't see any other questions. Linda, that was a great question, so thank you for bringing that one up. Sunday also looks to be a crazy day. By the way, Saturday is in the Pleiadian-Earth energy is 12, remembering. The 12 is the number of understanding. It is about bringing a deeper understanding to all of the events of this previous period of time. So if we have been, what was it, one intuiting that we went into 12 days ago, at that point it'll be 12 days, then can we understand what it is that we are being asked to evolve towards? And remembering energy is also interesting here because it is the energy that takes us to remember our gifts, remember all of the tools that we have on our tool belt, and to express that using your tools to help you understand. That was Saturday's energy. Sunday, we move into the last day of the Pleiadian-Earth energy week, right? We reach the ascension level of the week at the number 13, and it's loving energy. So Sunday, even though it's probably, you know, the epitome of craziness, because that day is when Mars conjuncts Pluto, Venus comes into a sextile with Neptune, as well as Mercury sextiling Uranus, the moon in Pisces sextiling Venus in conjunct Neptune. There's some, you know, wishy-washy craziness going on there. 13, loving energy says, get into what's important, right? Get down to the real loving energy. It is Lamat in the Mayan calendar, which was a representation of the Venus star. And 13 is that number of ascension, right? We're bringing it all together. We are in preparation, going into the void, perhaps even, to more deeply understand these previous 13 days and to prepare for Monday, who's one feeling. So we're going into the emotional energy for the next 13 days. So, and it's funny, I just saw on our feed, there's 13 viewers, live viewers. I don't know. Everybody's coming and going this morning. Suzanne Fulmer, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're there. Blessed morning to all. She says, still an earthquake PTSD. Glad to be here this morning. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. We thought about you. I even said that day, oh my gosh, I know that you live near there or in Salt Lake City, and I was hoping you were okay. Just what we need, right? An earthquake like that to add to the PTSD everybody's feeling. Colleen says, I'm always surprised people compare this to 9/11. I suppose I shouldn't be, as it is the most live from New York City, but as a resident of New Jersey, 9/11 was and still is significantly more traumatic. Perspective really is everything. I'm not sure it's about the trauma, Colleen. I think it's about the impact, the shake up in our collective psyche. That's what I'm comparing it to, is that there was that surreal quality of, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Has this really happened? And us over here far away on the Pacific coast, you know, we were so far away from it, yet, you know, those images of those towers falling and the death toll and the number of people whose lives were upended, and we're still feeling the ramifications of firefighters and police and first responders who, you know, took in all of that smoke and so forth, and how long of an effect that has had on all of us. That's what I think about. It's that surreal quality of the event, not the trauma involved, just the impact that it has in our collective psyche. And no matter what country people were living in at that time, you know, you were impacted by this. And this particular pandemic is all over the world. So, you know, again, it's bringing us together in some ways, but I don't know why it is we always have to have some kind of trauma drama that brings us together instead of something loving and kind and wonderful. So let's bring ourselves together in something fun and loving and wonderful, because Sunday we have loving energy and we are allowed to see how love interacts with all of this. Craziness to it, though, I would expect Mars conjunct Pluto to bring up some issues, right? To help us clear the collective unconscious. So be aware. You don't have to be in fear, because it will trigger fear likely, but we can be willing, ready, and able to move through our own fears. Remember, next week in your human design, is it next week? Let's see, today, Monday would be the 23rd. Yes, so the 24th, the Earth begins to transit through the gates of fear on the spleen. So it's going to be important for us to really understand when we're tapping into fear and what is it that we can do about that. Right, rising above that, recognizing the fear. Don't try to push it away, invite it in and just, say, I get it. This is fearful. It looks fearful. But let's just apply love here and watch that shift happen. We don't want to push that fear away from us because that, what you resist persists. So draw it in, right? Take it in and just put love around it and watch how it transforms as it begins to release its hold on you. So for the next several weeks, we have impact coming from the Earth's placement in those gates of fear. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll be here, right? I'll be here for you. We'll get through it together. All right. Let's do some card readings. I think that's enough for now. I'm looking at comments. Where am I now? There we go. Okay, so I had a list of people that had asked for readings. I only had 3 people on that list because that was as far as I got. I had Debbie and I had Linda. I'm going to give us dragon cards, I think, today. And you can have any deck you want, by the way. I have Wisdom of the Oracle. I have the Spirit Animals. I have Goddess Power. I have the dragons. And I want to do dragons for you, Linda. And this is Linda Dennis. Linda Dennis. This card is for you. And hopefully I'm going to take a listen to the recording after the broadcast and see if I can't fix it up. I will repost that on, and I do all my broadcasts get posted on YouTube as well as on my website. So you can check there if the broadcast is too choppy on Facebook. Linda Dennis, you get the golden orange dragon. It expands your light for ascension. It says, be a peaceful warrior, help those in need, and remember your magnificence. I'm going over to Zoom here so I can show you this card. It's a beautiful dragon. We've had this one a few times, I think, over the last couple of times that we've done readings here. The golden orange dragon. So let's bring him out to play and see what the meaning is. Golden orange dragon. Okay. The golden orange dragon is a fifth dimensional golden orange dragons are part of Archangel Metatron's ascension team. Archangel Metatron is leading forward individuals who are ready to follow his path. At the same time, he is overseeing the ascension of the entire universe. The golden orange dragons who work for him are carrying the fifth dimensional ascension blueprint for Earth, and they come to those of us who are ready to make a difference. As soon as they see golden orange energy awaken in our aura, they breathe into us to expand it and accelerate our ascension journey. These magnificent dragons demonstrate dignity, peace, and power with wisdom. They are peaceful spiritual warriors, always ready to help and to encourage those in need. Linda, here is your guidance from this card. It says, this card connects you with the illuminated Archangel Metatron as well as his powerful ascended dragons. You are on your ascension path, and golden orange dragons are pouring high-frequency light into your aura to attract the attention of the masters, angels, and unicorns who are guiding you. Drawing this card suggests it is time for a push toward, Drawing this card suggests it is time for a push forward on your ascension path. Do you need to meditate more, or examine and release old stuff, or embrace who you truly are and recognize your magnificence? Tell these dragons what you need in order to take the next step on your journey into the higher frequencies, and they will help you. Call on them for support, and they will provide it. They are wonderful companions and friends. Linda Dennis, I think that is probably the best message for what you're experiencing in your life right now. Remember who you are. Remember your magnificence. All right, Debbie, I'm going to go back again. I think it was Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel. Angela would love a card, but spirit animal. All right, Angela, spirit animal. And Rebecca, definitely, there's time. I think I got through everything I needed to. Debbie Johnson asked for one. Oh, okay, so it was Deb Johnson, not Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel. Okay. And Tom Wright, Tom, and I could swear that Debbie also asked for a card reading, but Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel. So let's do one right now for Debbie Johnson. Debbie Johnson. I think you need a goddess card, my friend. Let me take them apart. You guys would laugh if you saw my behind the scenes here. My desk is a disaster. I'm working 2 projects simultaneously. One that is about Saturn and one that is about human design. So yeah, my desk is a mess. Just ask Tom. He saw it yesterday. He saw the behind the scenes, what's behind the curtain. Okay, Debbie Johnson. Wow, you got a very powerful one. Gosh, she keeps coming up. This is the card Ocean, which is about generosity. She was in upside down mode, which I forgot what that means. That is a adjustment, I think it is, an alignment message for you. Hold on, here's the card, Ocean. She's a beauty, right? And it says generosity. So Deb Johnson, this is for you. What number is she? 40, which is a 4. Okay, so, and in this deck, when they're right side up, you get an empowerment message. When they are upside down, like this one was, you get an alignment message to help you align with the energies. So here we go. Sometimes you may fall prey to fears about whether you will get what you need. So you worry about money or love and you begin withholding. You might find yourself being overly restrictive and beginning to hoard for that proverbial rainy day. Do you know you cut off generous ocean's flow of potential when you allow yourself to be convinced there is not enough? The truth is, when you begin to be miserly with your time, affection, and gifts, you will see little in return, as all you begin to notice is what isn't there. In this moment, the goddess Ocean wants to offer you this alignment task. You cannot expect the great goddess to be generous with you if you show her you don't trust in the flow of her generosity. Now is the time to do the opposite of what you fear. When you feel there is not enough money, spend it to signal your trust in abundance. If you feel unloved, ask who can you love and where can you show you care. Even a kind gesture made to a stranger sends the sign that you trust in the generosity of the world. Don't wait to get what you want. Give it away to others, and you will be amazed at how things turn around. The goddess Ocean has only your best interests at heart. So Deb Johnson, I hope that is helpful and meaningful to you. And Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel, because I'm not so sure whether or not you wanted a card, I'm going to draw you a goddess card as well. Got to move my dragons over here a bit. Okay, this is for the other Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel. And I will go back and check on requests in a minute. And Debbie, this one seems like a good mix-up here. And I get the card Iris. Oh, she's beautiful. She has rainbows coming down from her eyes. And rainbows are about communication here, it seems like. Her name is Iris. She was right side up, card number 22, a power number. Woohoo! Let's take a look. I think we got her last week too for somebody. Okay, Iris. And here is your empowerment message, Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel. Clarity in communication is called for, as your words will have great impact on others right now. It's a wonderful time to start writing that book, telling new stories and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others. You have everyone's ear, so choose your message wisely. Others will also desire positive and fruitful communication with you, so get ready for some amazing new opportunities to come from these discussions. Just remember to stay open and be clear about expressing your deepest desires, always speaking with integrity, kindness, and respect for yourself and others. The Greek messenger goddess Iris is thrilled to help your words take flight. Communication improves in all your relationships when she comes to visit. Most important, however, Iris reminds you of the communication you have with the universe. You are in mutual dialogue, and now is the time to pay attention to the signs and omens in your life. Trust this important yet subtle communication. It will never lead you astray when you listen and act accordingly. That's a lovely card. Okay, that was for you, Debbie Tippett's 2 meal. I'm going to go check back really quickly here and see Dragon. Yes, Rebecca. Let me put Dragon down here for you. Thank you for telling me that. And Deb Johnson, yes, you are most welcome. Linda Dennis, you are much welcome. And I've got Angela. Okay, great. So I've got everybody so far that I need to know. And let's see who comes after that. Monique Alexander, you said something that made me think you wanted a card, but then you said something else that made me think you didn't. So you are getting one no matter what. How's that for decisiveness on my part? And I'm going to draw a dragon card for you, Monique Alexander. And let's see what that is. Because I wrote your name down here, so maybe I thought I saw that you wanted one. We'll see. A rainbow dragon brings the leap of joy that opens new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, accept opportunities. So let me show you this dragon. Here we go. A rainbow dragon. That is what you get, Monique. A rainbow dragon. Isn't that beautiful? Let's, oh, hello, and it's flying. It's a flying dragon. So rainbow dragon is, I gotta find it. Okay. The rainbow dragon is a rainbow in the sky is a cosmic gift. If our heart leaps with joy and gratitude when we see one, the universe opens new doors for us. Glorious rainbow dragons carry the same promise. When they come to us, a multicolored mystical flame ignites within us. This automatically attracts something of significance from the universe towards us. In addition, rainbow dragons will take us to the mystical pot of gold that is said to await us at the end of the rainbow. This golden gift is our own ancient wisdom, which has been waiting for us to rediscover it. With it, we know how to take knowledge and use it for the highest good of all. We become a wise one, a mage, and the rainbow dragons open the petals of our crown to connect us with the universal knowledge. And as we use knowledge wisely, more comes to us. And here is your guidance, Monique. This is a card of hope, prayers, expectation, and gratitude. Look for opportunities. Expect miracles. When new openings occur, seize them. Sometimes you may hardly dare to believe that good fortune has sought you out, so make sure you accept it consciously and unconsciously. Do not let it slip away. Remember to thank the rainbow dragon who has come to you for opening new doors for you. Ride with the current of life this dragon has brought you and enjoy everything that comes your way. A rainbow dragon may feel like an illusion, but it is very real. If you catch the flash of rainbow colors out of the corner of your eye, it is your rainbow dragon reminding you that the time for a new life is now. Trust that it will happen for you. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, next we have Angela, who wanted a spirit animal card. So let's get a spirit animal. I have to watch the time this morning, you guys. I have an early appointment. Spirit animal for Angela. And get this done. Okay. Ooh, spider spirit, Angela. And it was in protection mode. Card 56 is an 11. And that is, of course, a master number of enlightenment or illumination. Spider spirit says, make your dreams real. She was upside down, so that is a protection message. So let's see what that is for you, Angela. And card 56. Okay. Are you expecting your dreams to weave themselves into reality? Are you stuck in the sticky web of weaving dreams but never following through? The thread of intention isn't enough to make dreams a reality unless you do your part in the weaving. Spider spirit wants you to know that your plans will remain ephemeral unless you commit to being productive and industrious. For spirit, will not do it all for you. Magic needs to be instigated, so begin to make your dream a reality by taking action today. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Can you release your limiting beliefs? Your dream is worthy of weaving. Your dream is worthy of weaving. Today is a day to choose one small step toward your dream. Remember, spirit is your weaving partner. You just have to be the first one to bring the thread to the loom, then continue to do your part. Wow, that's so poetic, isn't it? Weave. You have to be the one to bring the thread to the loom, then continue to do your part. Love it. That's a great card. Okay, so that was for you, Angela. And next we have Rebecca, who wanted a dragon card. So dragons it will be for you, Rebecca. And then we'll do Tom. And then I'm afraid that's it for me today. Dragon for Rebecca. Rebecca, you have a silver lunar dragon, bathes you in divine feminine light. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. So here is the dragon card, silver lunar dragon. She's a beauty, right? Look at that. Gosh, I just want to, that one's just really beautiful, magical looking. So let's see what the silver lunar dragon has for you. Silver lunar dragon is the 7th dimensional dragon. Okay, so we are on page 90 then. So the moon is a portal through which divine feminine light pours onto Earth. It bathes the planet and more specifically connects to our causal chakra and helps to activate it. Recently, 7th dimensional silver lunar dragons have been able to access this portal and stream into our dimension, particularly when the moon is full. They carry divine feminine light in their energy fields, and their mission is to touch us with it to prepare for the golden future. For 10,000 years, we have been influenced by the masculine. However, in the new golden age, the feminine qualities of peace, harmony, equality, cooperation, love, unity, and wisdom must harmonize with the masculine. So silver lunar dragons are very dynamic now because they are actively bringing about the balance of yin and yang energy on the planet. Ask these shimmering dragons, as these shimmering dragons touch our causal chakra and enable it to expand, unicorns are able to use the illuminated chakra as a portal to enter Earth and assist our ascension. In this way, the silver lunar dragons serve us and we serve the planet. And Rebecca, here is your guidance. Choosing this card suggests that you call on the silver lunar dragons to bathe you in their energy and that you practice peace, harmony, equality, cooperation, love, unity, and wisdom in your daily life. A lunar dragon will be close by helping and supporting you. As you are bringing yourself into balance, you are doing your part to bring the planet into equilibrium. Visualize your causal chakra as your own personal moon. The silver lunar dragons will touch and expand it until the frequency is high enough to allow pure white unicorns to step through it. That's very mystical and magical, isn't it? Very whimsical, but a very nice card for you, Rebecca. All right, and lastly, Tom, you didn't tell me what kind of card you wanted, did you? Gina Rose, good morning. Good to see you out there. Debbie Tibbet says, wishing everyone a great weekend. I'm going to celebrate a late birthday for my Arthur today, and we are binge watching Ozark on Netflix. That's actually a really good show. Okay, so Tom, I'm not sure what kind of card you wanted. I think I'm going to give you an animal. That just popped in out of the blue. Let's do an animal spirit card for you, Tom. And then that will be it for me for today. Now, because one of the other things I wanted to do today was read the story for the card 25. I won't be able to do that live right now, but likely I will record that and post it up here later for everybody to see and to connect with. Tom, skunk spirit. Upside down protection mode. Skunk is not a bad card, by the way. Skunk upside down. It says, know your worth. Number 54, which is a 9, skunk spirit. And isn't that cute? All right, let's see what skunk spirit means for you, Tom. Card 54. We're going this way. And in protection. Not everyone will appreciate you. Many people have issues of their own to address, and you may trigger something in them. But if so, no matter. Skunk spirit calls you to be fully yourself without apology. Now is a time for honesty and admitting that something does not sit right for you. You deserve the self-respect that comes when you courageously choose to stand up for yourself and speak your truth in love. Remember who you are and what really matters to you, and act with integrity. You will be so glad that you did. Well, that is a short but sweet message, and I hope that holds meaning for you. So that is it for us for today. I'm going to check back real quickly, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Oh, that's too funny. LMA. Oh, he says we Geminis are connected because he wanted an animal spirit card. Too funny. Andy Dunlop, hello from Skyline, Frankfurt, AM in Germany. Well, welcome, Andy. It is great to have you here. So glad you could join us. And we love seeing people from around the world. We really value that kind of spirit here on Living Astrology. And you're very welcome, Rebecca. All right, guys. So that is it for me this morning. Again, later I will post that card 25, the universal love card, the story with that, and the questions for contemplation, because when I come back on air Monday morning, we'll be in a new week and we'll have a lot to talk about next week. We have the new moon. We start the round of human design gates that the earth hits in the spleen, which means they double as fear or paralysis gates. We'll want to know how that's going to affect us. And again, get your journals handy. I want to know what you guys are noticing in the world that's changing as Saturn moves into Aquarius. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Take care. Mwah. Much love to you all. See you on Monday. Bye.